Blog Talk Radio.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Cy Brown and welcome to the Cy Brown Fitness Podcast. Today is the day after Memorial Day 2015 and I hope you guys had a kick-ass Memorial Day. Did I say that? Yep, I said it. I hope you had a great Memorial Day filled with family, fun, and barbecues and love. You know, big shout out to my sister from another mother, Dee Dee Shocheda. Yesterday was her birthday, May 25th, 2015. She would have been 44 years old. Sadly, last year she passed away from cancer, and so it was bittersweet when I logged on to wish everybody Happy Memorial Day on Facebook, and I saw all these wonderful tributes to Dee Dee, befitting of the queen that she was, and her hashtag was QNQ, which was Queens Never Quit. So I'm saying prayers to her family. She has 7 beautiful children, and they are thriving and well with their dad. So big shout out to Dee Dee. And so I wanted to share today, like I shared with you guys on the show the day before Memorial Day, how I was prepping my backyard. I did not realize that my backyard is almost 750 square feet. And I just said, ooh, let me just mow the grass and get it ready for some company. But little did I know how much work it actually takes to weed a yard, then cut the grass, and then make it pretty. Maybe I'm watching too much Vanilla Ice on the DIY network, but I swear to you all, and y'all know me for a long time, I swear I thought this was a one-day project. Oh, my Lord. I will tell you this. I took 2 500 milligrams of Tylenol before I went to bed each night. I take boot camp. I flip 300-pound tires. I train people. I have a wonderful trainer that I work with 3 times a week for an hour, and I swear there is nothing more excruciating to the body than gardening. So just trust me on this one. You got to take my word for it. But now here's the cool thing. I gardened. It looked pretty. I had company. I planted flowers. You know, I dashed to Lowe's and bought some flowers, and I planted flowers all along. Like I have this kind of stone area, like a sitting area, and it looks so beautiful. And my husband told my son, just wait, she's not done yet. And I'm like, yes, I am. I swear, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else. Like, I'm happy. And by golly, he was right. So today I woke up, I'm like, you know what? I want to plant a garden. I don't know how to plant a garden. I've never planted a garden. You all know I was raised in New York City, so we went to Gillies, we went to Balducci's, we went to Key Foods and bought vegetables and things, you know, tomatoes in a styrofoam container or green beans in a styrofoam container from the grocery store. But I'm getting more and more into fitness and healthy living, so I'm like, well, wait a minute. I have to practice what I preach. So I started Googling, and the funny thing is when I was at Lowe's buying the flowers the other day, I actually bought vegetable seeds. I bought squash, pumpkin, don't ask me, don't judge, pumpkin, watermelon, once again, don't judge me, and I bought tomatoes, and I bought basil and rosemary. I know, what a crazy mix, but I did. So there were little seeds and stuff I can buy. So then I got home. I didn't know you have to do some stuff with the dirt. So I made myself a checklist, and I'm going to share my checklist with you all. Then you can go, hopefully, and start your own garden. And then, of course, I will be chronicling all of this on my blog, Cy Brown Fitness, so you guys can see how me and my backyard garden are coming along. The first thing I had to do, and this is what they told me in the store, is to get good soil. So Lowe's had these huge bags of topsoil. It's like really, really dark brown, almost black. 4 big bags for $10. So you should have seen me trying to clump all this stuff in my back seat with the new lawn chairs that I bought. But anyway, you got to get good soil. If you're just starting a new garden like me, you have to turn the soil at least 12 to 15 inches deep and remove all the grass and the roots and the debris. That is what was a killer on my back. Thankfully, my neighbor felt sorry for me and loaned me some of his backyard tools. And as I was digging, I actually uncovered peanuts, 2 peanuts, 1 peanut in one location and 1 peanut in another location. So I'm wondering, because we all know grow underground, if at some point whoever had this house a long time ago actually grew peanuts, because I thought that was weird. But anyway, you got to go deep. And if the soil is like heavy clay or just like dry dirt, you're going to have to consider a raised bed, and that's where you have a box and then you put plastic in it and then you put the soil and then you grow your garden. If you have a bed that's raised 12 or so inches above the ground level that has the soil turned or tilled below the raised bed, it's a pretty good way to have a successful garden. And you can fill that raised bed with good mixed soil, like 2 parts of topsoil, 1 part of sand, and 1 part of compost or cow manure. Now, I live in an area that's not so vast, so I do not want to put manure in my backyard because it will smell and my neighbors will absolutely kill me. So that's really, really, really important. The second piece to this is, if this is your first garden, don't try to plant everything, because as I started doing research, I just don't judge. I swear, don't judge me. I bought things that I want to eat that looked really cute in the packaging. I was like, oh, pumpkins, that looks cool. Duh, Saida, you can't do that. And then put it next to tomatoes. Just bear with me, y'all. Don't try to plant everything. Select things that you like to eat over and over. Cucumbers, squash, which I did get, snap beans, which I love, peppers and tomatoes. Easy peasy, stop right there. So I'm probably 40% on my way. The other 60%, I'll probably just take the seeds back or give them away or something like that. And don't get really snazzy till you kind of start to master what you have to do in the beginning, because you know me, I'm an all-in kind of gal. I am either on or off. I don't know this middle ground. So I was like, I'm going to be a gardener. Once you start to plant and you get the soil good, you have to water it. I got this cute watering can just because it was cute. I swear. I did. I bought the cutest one there, and it had the little handle, and it had a big round end with a hole. So I was like, oh, this would look cute in my yard. Buy stuff for function. Don't just buy stuff because, hey, self, it looks cute. Buy stuff for function. Buy things that are going to help you grow a good garden. But in all seriousness, you have to keep everything watered well and watch the soil. Make sure it doesn't become dry. So just check it every couple of days to see if it needs water, especially if it doesn't rain. If you're listening in California at this time of year, I know there's all this talk about the drought and things like that, so you have to be really careful. Start small. Just start with baby steps. You're also going to need fertilizers. So far we have the soil, getting good things that you're going to eat over and over. Make sure it's, your vegetable garden is watered. And you're going to need some good fertilizer. Once the plants are established, probably after about 2 weeks, you may want to fertilize them with some good garden fertilizer. The one they recommended to me was 15-0-15. So that's a good basic one to start with. Just go to any store. They'll tell you exactly what that is. And you want to sprinkle a smaller amount around the base of the plant, but try not to touch the stems. Just lightly work it into the soil. And then you water after fertilizing it. So you want to make sure if it's not going to rain, like right now, literally the day I'm recording this, we're supposed to get rain for the next couple of days. So I'm going to gauge, and if it rains, then obviously I'm not going to do anything else. But if it doesn't, I'm just going to have to, put the fertilizer and water it. Or here's another option. You can liquid feed your plants with one of the liquid options in the market. Make your garden, your home garden, work for you. Like, I am no Martha Stewart. Well, obviously, I'm black, and I'm younger than her. But the reality is I don't have all day to spend in a garden. My mother-in-law, they have these big, huge pieces of land, in very rural areas of the country. We don't. I'm in New Jersey, and we don't have these big pieces of land. So I just want to start small and do what works for me. I have a busy schedule, and I want it to be fun, but I don't want it to be so laborious that I kind of neglect it and then it falls by the wayside. I want to plant my tomatoes because I love tomatoes. For the record, I love tomatoes. And I want to be able to go into my yard and pick a ripe tomato and make a good salad, or if I'm having company. So, start small. Make sure that the feed that you get, the fertilizer, works for you. Get yourself a little kit. I spent probably $40 maybe. I don't even think I spent $40 because I told you the topsoil was like 4 for $10, and I got huge bags. The seeds cost little or nothing. Basil and rosemary, you can get the plant for pennies. And I did get a couple of other things, so maybe that's why my bill was about $40. But the point is the return on it. You're looking at it's sustainable. You don't have to go to the store for the basics: tomatoes, cucumbers, seasonings. It's fresh. You're growing it. I just want to share this real quick too, because a big part of my yard doesn't get a lot of sun. So one of the things that I had to be mindful of when I was planting is what grows well in part shade, because a huge section of it, probably like a third of it, gets sun, and the other 2/3 really don't get much sun. So here's a couple of vegetables that work well in part shade. Salad greens like leaf lettuce, arugula, cress, that is pretty good. Radishes, Brussels sprouts, beets, peas, cauliflower, broccoli, Swiss chard, collard greens, spinach, kale, and beans. And conversely, here are some vegetables that really grow well in the sun: tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, squash, corn, and eggplant. So you want to kind of factor all of these things in, put a little thought into it, so that way you don't get discouraged when it doesn't grow well or when things aren't turning out the way you want them to. So I hope your garden starts to work like my garden does, and I really encourage you, send me some pictures, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, because I'm really going to stick with this. I love the way my yard looks. It was pure hell. I have to say it was pure hell to take 3 days to get it to where it is now. But now that it's there, the work is done, and it's so beautiful. If you don't have a big yard, even if you have a small yard, the Bible says take care of what God gives you so that way it can grow. That's paraphrased, but, you can't get more if you're not taking care of what you have now. So I'm extremely grateful for the space that I have. I'm extremely grateful to the friends and family that hung out with me on Memorial Day. So I'm hoping by July 4th, I will be able to share some really yummy snacks from my homegrown vegetable garden. Thank you so much for listening, and always remember, we shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that we can do, or any kindness that we can show to any human being, let us do it now. Let us not defer or neglect it, for we shall not pass this way again. I'll see you soon, and thanks so much for listening.
1, 2, 3, 4.